Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of July 13th to the 19th of 2020. Alright, so today I'm going to be doing a weekly video because I am going to be taking a holiday break here this week. So normally we would do dailies, but in this case, one weekly video for each day of the week. But you should find the same value in this one video as the dailies. Alright, so we'll take a look at that. The most important thing this week is that we are closing out the current eclipse cycle, the current eclipse month. We have a new moon on Monday of next week, creating a fresh new start and a finalization of a lot of the stuff that has been shifting and transforming these previous 3 weeks of this cycle. Now, the most important thing this week is how can we, the first part of it, challenge ourselves to integrate things that came to our awareness from the last full moon. So about a week ago from Monday of the beginning of this week, we had the full moon, and that gave us some perspective shifts and maybe some things we wanted to change or implement. And so this first part of the week, really good for inducing that change, setting intentions, and really grounding anything that we can challenge ourselves to further develop. A lot of it is in the context of how can we continue to learn, be practical, and develop our communication skills with all this energy in Gemini at the moment. But once we get to about Thursday, the sun is going to start to shift into Cancer, where we're going to have the new moon. And so the shift of focus will be more on the emotional aspects of life, the second half of the week. Great for creating a protective environment for ourselves and others, spending time at home, reflecting on the past a little bit, connecting to our intrinsic values. Really good to start to prepare for, because that will be the whole new beginning starting with the new moon around the corner. And this whole second half of the week, really good to finalize and complete things as we do end the current lunar month. All right, so let's take a look at this as well as some of the aspects that we have here this week, all in more detail when we return. All right, so here is the sky for this week, and we're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday the 13th and going all the way to July 19th, Sunday the 19th. So again, we are using the actual constellations in the sky called true Sidereal Astrology. You will notice a lot of the signs that I'm mentioning are different from mainstream astrology. Like I did say earlier that the sun is shifting into Cancer, but you might be asking yourself, well, the sun is already in Cancer. How is that the case? If you're asking those questions, if you are hearing different signs, definitely check out that link down below for more information on true Sidereal Astrology. All right, so let's take a look here first at Monday. We have Monday, the moon finishing Pisces, which was the energy for the previous weekend, which is placing a theme on creating more receptivity in our life, doing things more important on a soul and spiritual level, and really being soul guided in that sense. So still a great day on Monday to do that. And this is really the challenging part of the cycle, one of them, which is about integrating two very different energies. The challenge here is how can we integrate this receptive side, accepting side of Pisces, doing what's important on a soul level, but still focusing on the practical realms. Like I said, we still have a lot of energy in Gemini with the Sun and Mercury here. So still really good to be learning, be doing things that involve our minds and communication and all this practical life. So this first part of the week, great to challenge ourselves with integrating, in this case on Monday, these two very different energies of receptivity and practicality. But all in all, what I would say is this whole first half of the week, if there has been any shifts of perspectives from last weekend, a week ago from Monday, it's an excellent early part of the week to challenge ourselves to integrate and even finalize these things as, again, we do start to close out this lunar cycle towards the weekend. All right, so on Monday, no major aspects going exact, but this is really where the concentration of aspects are for the week, is all around this Monday through really Wednesday, Thursday time period. So as the day unfolds, as we get into the later part of Monday, the moon will be shifting into more active Aries, placing a theme on independence, initiative, assertiveness, some of that fire energy. And again, good to challenge ourselves with some of that. But we do have Mars, that planet that rules Aries, is going over healing Chiron. So going into Tuesday, if there is anything that you feel like would be healing for you to do that might involve confidence, might involve initiative, assertiveness, right? Anything fiery like that by doing could be very healing, very therapeutic for you. Very, very good day to do this. This is starting a very large 2.5-year cycle with Mars and Chiron. And the major theme here about it is to take action and assert ourselves, but in a way that's receptive, right? We've had Mars in Pisces very recently. Chiron's been in Pisces for years. But in this case, how can we take action in a more receptive way, right? This is the major theme and will be the major theme all the way up until mid-January of next year. How can we be assertive, direct, pursue our needs and desires, but in such a way that we're willing to go with the flow, the universal flow, be attuned, listen to our inner guidance and our intuition, and sometimes just kind of float a bit. Sometimes a little bit of inaction leads to more action or getting more done, right? So it's taking this more receptive, more yin approach to our needs, to action, which is really the major theme. And I think that approach can be very healing and very therapeutic around that Monday time period. Later Monday into Tuesday. Now also with that, we have the sun opposite up to expansive Jupiter. In fact, the sun's going to start to oppose all of these outer planets that have all been in conjunction this year, which has really been involving the transformations and changes we've seen collectively this year. And in fact, this new moon on Monday will be opposite up to those planets as well. But in either case, going into Tuesday with the sun opposite Jupiter, how can we expand our perception a bit? Maybe it's getting into our adventurous side a little bit. Maybe it's learning about higher perspectives like philosophy or spirituality or something more abstract like that. So really good to expand our mind or our bodies, so either mentally or quite literally, but to find the balance with it, because sometimes with oppositions, we tend to go to extremes, especially with an easy planet like Jupiter. Sometimes we might be overly optimistic, pie in the sky, or very inspired. And so we just want to make sure everything is nice and grounded, nice and balanced, so we aren't overdoing it if there is anything like that. And just find the constructive way of doing that Jupiterian stuff. And again, it can be a very constructive early part of the week for both healing and also expanding our horizons and our perspective on matters. But yeah, once we get into Tuesday especially, the moon will be well set in Aries, which is all about creating that theme around initiative, independence, pursuing our needs, our goals, things like that. Really good to do pretty much all the way up until the early part of Wednesday, right? So second half of Monday till early part of Wednesday, really good for that Aries energy. Again, directness, independence, all probably very healing with Mars over Chiron. Then once we get into the Wednesday time period, the 15th, then the sun will be opposite deep and transformative Pluto, which places a theme on really doing things that we might be afraid of or we know by doing will empower us. So great time to dive, first of all, to dive deep with ourselves. Are there any fears? Are there any deep things we can become more aware of? And we likely will. There likely will be a shift of perspective about what really is important to us on a very, very deep level. And how can we empower ourselves to cultivate those things? So great day for that, excavating things, bringing things to the surface, again with balance and conscious intention, practicing non-attachment, which then allows us to create more changes, right? This is all about changes, mainly changes to our perception. And so the more willing we are to face fears, the more non-attached we are, the more willing we are to change. And that's fundamentally what this is about. Great day for all that deep diving, transformation, personal empowerment, all in that conscious and constructive, and most importantly, balanced way, which is the opposition here. All right, and then once we get into the later part of Wednesday, the moon will shift into Taurus for the next few days, all the way up until Saturday. And so that's going to place a theme on cultivating our inner and outer resources. What's important to us inwardly, what are our inner resources, inner strength, self-reliance, resourcefulness, really good to do this, but also to connect to the values, especially with Venus here. Connect to our external values as well, enjoying a good meal, some relaxation, some comforts. There will likely be some themes around cultivating our inner and outer resources this whole middle part of the week. But once we get into a later part, we definitely start to come up to the ending phase of the cycle where the energies are getting to their lowest point of the cycle, which will be the new moon on Monday. And so really good as we go through the weekend to finalize things, complete things, to release things, to create space for those new beginnings. And this is about the time we start to feel the sun going into Cancer. So around Thursday, going into the weekend, the sun shifts closer to Cancer. And so this is suggesting that the next few weeks, but longer once Mercury and then Venus and some of these other planets will go in there. But with the sun, the next few weeks, the focus will be on creating more of a protective environment for ourselves and others. It'll be a great time of spending time at home or in our private life, maybe reflecting on the past a little bit, doing what's important to us on an inner level, connecting to who's important to us on a more personal and inner level, and getting into some of that caring and nurturing and protective side of ourselves, both for ourselves and others. So a big theme there, and that's where the new moon's going to be on Monday, suggesting a fresh new start and whole new development around that Cancerian energy. All right, but once we do get into the weekend, the moon will shift into Gemini for particularly Saturday and Sunday. And so the weekend will probably be placing themes on how can we again finalize this Gemini energy. What have we learned this previous very transformative lunar month? What have we learned about being willing to learn? What have we learned about communication? All this stuff that involves the mind and communication, really good to finalize, whether it's reading, writing, learning, sharing, exchanging, really good to finalize and complete as, again, we do gear up for the new cycle around the corner. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all for the new moon forecast, which I should release around the weekend for Monday. But yeah, I wish you the very best, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.